If it's been a while since you've seen an Apple product, which I don't really see that many new Apple products come through my office, then you might be stunned at the Apple M1 or M2 chipset. Here we have a 24-inch Apple M1 iMac. And we're going to take a look at the box, see what's in it, and just see how it feels. Now, like previous Apple models, this strap feels really secure. It's not the little plastic dinky strap that you'd normally get on a iMac box. I'm popping it open. Hello, iMac. Packaging seems reminiscent to the original iMac packaging, except there's not all this foam all over here. You pull this, and you pull this tab, and this pops up, and you have the access to the Mac right here. And below the Mac, access to their keyboard, which looks about the same as it always has. You have your charger, which is now a proprietary connection. It's no longer standard desktop connection. Their standard mouse with the power connection down here, which they really need to redesign that for it to plug in right here or right here. And then you have the power cable. There's nothing in this box, as it's just to protect the screen. And there's nothing else actually in this box, these side boxes, or behind here or under here. Just the keyboard, the mouse, and your power supply. This Apple does not even come with the documentation that you'd normally get on other iMacs, but they do include the USB-C to Thunderbolt cable that you get to charge your peripherals like your mouse or your keyboard. Actually, sketch that under the box where the power supply is. That's where these guys are. This one has 8 gigs of RAM, 8-core CPU, 8-core GPU, and 512 gigs of hard drive space. Well, solid state space. Let's boot it up for the first time and take it for a drive. There we go. There we go, loaded up. Apple M1 chip, which is a 3.2 gigahertz processor. Try to open up Safari. Safari comes up actually quite quickly. Just go to Google, just randomly look up a random website just to see how fast this loads. Nice and quick. Now, websites can load fast or slow depending on the speed of your internet, but having fast hardware helps out dramatically. Our customer upgraded from their old 2011 MacBook Pro. Here's their hard drive going through USB 3. So we're going to be limited by the speed of this hard drive, 7200 RPM, but this can go as fast as possible. That was the original drive for the laptop. This guy can get up to about 200 megabits per second. If you're thinking about upgrading to a Apple iMac with a Core M1 or a Core M2 chip, and you've been running Intel for the last multiple years, there's a few things you need to know. The biggest one is your software. You can't just clone from your old system onto the new system. You might have to buy the new software to run on the Apple silicone chips. That's because it's different architecture. Also, you have to figure out the price tag. Is the upgrade worth it for you, or would you rather get something a couple years older, or do you want to really go with Mac when you can get a PC and the PC can do just about everything the Mac can do, if not more? Now, the reason you'd stick with the Mac versus going to a PC is you have everything Apple related, and that's a legitimate reason to stick with Apple. Your phone syncs, your iPad syncs, and your computer all syncs together, so stick with Apple. Now, if you want to save some money, you might go with a PC. If you want something with a huge amount of compatibility and expandability, go with Microsoft, get a PC. If you're doing video production or photo production, it's really about the apps that you use. If you're using Final Cut or an Apple proprietary product, you really need to stick with an Apple system. But if you're using Photoshop or Adobe products or some of the other software out there, you can go Mac or PC. It's just what's in your budget. What are you comfortable with using? A lot of people don't like switching the platforms. They're an Apple fan or they're a PC fan. They don't want to switch between the other ones because of the learning curve. That is completely fine too. It's really what works best for your situation. Personally, I'm a PC guy. I work on computers all the time. I can do everything I need to do on a Mac, on a PC, and then some. But for the size of this Mac, for a 24-inch all-in-one, it doesn't come with an optical drive. You can get one of those externally. That's going to work great for you. These guys are really light and compact, and their keyboard and mouse are also pretty puny too, which is great when you're trying to save space, and they're wireless, so you don't need to worry about the wires except for power cable, which is right there. We are transferring about 50 gigs of space via USB 3 as fast as this little guy can go. It started about 50 minutes. It's saying it's going to now take about 20 minutes or less, and it's probably even going to take less than 5 minutes, to be honest. If you're wondering graphics wise, it is an Apple M1 chip, so it's handling both the GPU and CPU function. But look at that resolution, 4.5K. And with the storage, you have a Apple specific SSD, Apple's proprietary solid state drives. They are not necessarily as fast as NVMe drives from my past experience, but with the way that the architecture is set up, everything integrated working together, it could actually be a lot faster than a PC setup with the same stuff. And that's one of the big things you're getting with Apple, is everything just works out of the box. You don't have to do an insane amount of setup like you would on a PC. But the downside is you're limited to what you can do on it, unlike a PC, where if you want to add in a bunch of stuff, or you want to be very very particular about your needs for various softwares and apps, you want to go with the PC. Now, it did take a little bit of time to get this transfer started. It says 7 minutes, but realistically we're looking about 5 minutes total time after it started doing the copy. It took a couple minutes for it to actually get done, set, and recognize what it was doing. Now, stack comparison between the original 21.5 inch and the 24-inch monitor. It actually is just as big as the case is, but it's a lot slimmer. And because it doesn't have the optical drive, it doesn't have all those fans on the inside, and it doesn't have this thick display here, you're looking for a much lighter, better performing system. And now that it's been a couple years since the M1 chip has come out, and now they have the M2 chip, what's your guys' thoughts on this? All the different software companies have now had a little bit of time to tweak their software and get their software on your Mac. So what's your thoughts? Is the M1 or M2 chip, the silicon chip from Apple, a win? Is it a lose? Are you guys using it? Are you sticking with an older Mac, or are you guys on the PC system thinking you might be interested in switching over? Or have you been using Apple for years and you're just tired with everything Apple and want to go with PC? The sad news is with Microsoft, they're doing some stuff that people aren't liking either. Leave your opinions in the comments below. Let's have this be a constructive comment section, no bashing one or the other. If you enjoyed this content, please hit that like, subscribe button, leave a comment below, let me know how you're doing. Again, this has been Lance with Ultimate Postman. I'll catch you next time.